In 2013, 7 men got together, and not in that kind of way. They formed a group, a gaming group, if you will. There was Vicstar, the handsome, strong man to lead the pack. Beside him, there was KSI, a man who was making funny faces, which he would later have to apologize for. Then there was his best friend, Simon, the lanky twat. Then there was Harry, before the drugs, and then there was Ethan, before the treadmill. And then there was Josh, who was 20, turning 50 soon. And then there was Toby. Yeah, Toby was there too. These 7 men were playing a game called FIFA at the time. But eventually, they got sick of FIFA and they decided, what if we could make FIFA, but in real life? And that's when they invented the sport, now known as football. Hey guys, today, it's a different kind of video. Today we're going to be talking about the Sidemen charity match and what I would do if I was in charge of running it. I believe the Sidemen themselves pick players for both sides and the coaches and stuff. I don't like that. I think that's unfair. You know, we've all kind of noticed the trend of everyone good on the YouTube All Stars will play for the Sidemen, and I think why don't we not? We'll let them pick the players, and I've built a team based off what I think they'll do, but I've also built a team based off if I was the YouTube All Stars coach, who would I want? So that's what this video is. It's me somewhat trying to guess the Sidemen team, but also building my perfect All Stars team. The Sidemen charity match now has been happening it's been happening for 7 years, but there haven't been 7 of them because of COVID. And only once has the YouTube All Stars actually beaten the Sidemen. And I think it's time that we change that. I think if they let me build the teams, I think this could not only be more entertaining than, the 8-7 that we saw last year. We could actually have a fair competition here. So I've built a team for the Sidemen that I think is a pretty likely chance that this will happen. It's what I imagine Sidemen would make. And then I've also built a team for the YouTube All-Stars, which, if I was Mark Goldbridge, I would choose. I think he did a good job last year with that attack. I just think the defense needs a bit of work. So the team for YouTube All-Stars is going to be a bit more defensive. It's at Wembley. I don't want to hear the YouTubers on the Sidemen team get to say, oh, I scored a hat trick at Wembley. I think we're going defense first. There's going to be a couple players who can attack, but my plan is to mainly defend with this team. So that's how I've built this team. We're going to go position by position here. We'll start off with the goalkeeper on one side, then the goalkeeper on the other side. But since the formations are different, I might just outright say the entire defense on one side, then cut over to the other one, so it's not confusing. Okay, starting with the Sidemen XI, we have the goalkeeper. This is a pretty obvious one. A former Premier League goalkeeper somehow, Ben Foster. This match is taking place on the 9th of September. He will have already started his league season with his club Wrexham recently being promoted. Deadpool has taken multiple years to create. You can't tell me that Ryan Reynolds has been available this entire time. I'm thinking Ben Foster pulls a couple strings, he gets another week off, he can come play in this match. So he is my Sidemen starting goalkeeper. Now, there's only really one other good YouTuber goalkeeper type thing, and that's probably John. I don't need to say much more. If you ever watch a Chris MD video, you'll see him saving everyone's shot but Chris MD's. I don't think that's a coincidence, but he's going to be going into the YouTube All-Stars team. So far, Ben Foster versus John in goals. Now we go back to the Sidemen team. This is where the formation starts coming in play. I've decided the YouTube All-Stars are going to be playing more defensive, but I think Sidemen will keep attacking because they're going to want more goals, more everything. This match will be played at Wembley. They're going to want to have people that can say, I've scored a goal at Wembley. So I've decided to run with a 3-5-2. So it's a bit more attacking, but I think it'll be fine. So at right centre back, not right back, we have Josh. A pretty boring selection. I don't know if his knees are going to give out at half time, but if they do, there's a man on the bench who can replace him. But we've got Josh at right centre back. And in fact, I might reveal the rest of their back line because it's not very interesting. We've got Josh at right centre back, Ethan at centre back, and then Harry at left centre back. 3 of the Sidemen, all 7 Sidemen have to start because it's a Sidemen game. They have to. So that's the back 3 for them. We got Josh, Ethan, and Harry. Now, with the YouTube All-Stars, though, like I said, I am the coach in this imaginary situation, and I've decided we're going more defensive. We don't want to be the blokes who concede 8 at Wembley, okay? So we're playing a 4-4-2, a proper English formation. So a part of this is having natural fullbacks, and we'll reveal the right back first. I've gone with a selection which, you know, might split opinions. Now, most people like to have big defenders, you know, big defenders that can really get in front of you, muscle you off the ball. You're scared to run at them. I've gone for Ryan's toy reviews. Look, he may be an infant or something. I don't really know. I've never watched the content. But I think he could do something. I think you put him there, no one's getting past it, you know? Who's going to take the ball of a 7-year-old? I don't know. I don't actually know if he's 7. But I do think that Ryan's toy review could really do something in this match. You know, the same way we've seen some standout performances in the previous years. Are we really going to say Ryan's toy review can't do something in this match? Now, right centre back, I wanted someone with a bit more experience, you know, someone who could really, like, boss this match. I've gone for Andrew Tate. Controversial, but if they can pay the release clause to get him out of the prisons, I think he could do something in this match. You know, when you start getting to the strikers and stuff on Sidemen, I just don't think they have the confidence to run on a man who's now been to prison twice. I feel like he could do something. I don't know. I wouldn't want to run towards Andrew Tate. So I've got him at right centre back for me, just kind of next to Ryan's toy review. Left centre back, I've got Mr. Beast. Not as exciting. He played in the last one. He's a big enough name that he kind of needs to start. So I've decided to put him at left centre back alongside Andrew Tate. I just feel like there could be something there. You know, the good, the evil, the tall, the short. Everyone loves a good combination of football. We could really see something there. And left back, for anyone who watched the England versus Scotland thing that Theo Baker put out, he's going at left back for me. Now we're going to cut back over to the sidemen. I've decided that I'll put the brothers, Manny and Toby, out in the wings. I'm thinking Manny on the right wing and Toby on the left, because Toby's so good at that outside the foot cross. With the right foot, we saw them with that goal last year. If they can combine that from the start, that'd be great. So I've decided that that's how the formation will play. I think it's a great idea to have those two playing out wide. The good chemistry, they'll know each other's runs and everything. So those are the wingers for the Sidemen team. Now we're going to skip back over to the YouTube All-Stars. Like I said before, this is a more defensive lineup. I need players that are going to track back, okay? I don't want people getting around the outside of our team. So while we already have 4 relatively defensive fullbacks, I think another big step is going to be having wingers that can drop deep. So I've gone with Speed on the left side, left midfield. I think he'll tuck in. If Speed can change his focus from just KSI to anyone that runs past him, I think we're sorted. He'll be a great left wing back almost, even though he's playing at left mid. He could really turn this back 4 into a back 6. And on the right side, this one might be controversial. So I've decided the King should be playing at right wing. I think if you want a man to track back from the royal family, you've got to give him a reason to. I'm just saying, anytime someone runs past the King, he's going to be running towards Ryan's toy reviews, not towards the ball. I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't want to get arrested by those tall dudes that have like the Black March Simpson hats. But yeah, that's my opinion. I think that Ryan's toy review and the King could create like a really scary right side. But not scary for the right reasons. All right, we're going to cut over back to Sidemen now for the midfield. And they need a tank in midfield. So I've gone with KSI. Obviously working on his stamina. We've all seen him pudgy. We've all seen him jacked. And by everyone, I mean literally everyone, because the weeks before his fight, he would not wear a shirt in Sidemen videos. But anyway, they need him to kind of cover ground because they have 2 more expansive 8s in front of him. But cutting back to the All-Stars, I thought they needed a tank as well. And who's a better tank than Deji's dog Tank? Obviously, there's a couple question marks around this. Can a dog play in a charity match? Can they dig up his core? You know, it's not 100% sure that he'll start. But if they can get him out in the field, that's great. They need a midfielder with some bite. And honestly, I think he could do great things. I think Tank is one of the first names on this team sheet for me. So yeah, Tank will be starting at left center mid. But the right center mid for YouTube All-Stars is a bit more expensive. Chris MD as well. I think it's time that he came back to YouTube All-Stars. His highlights for the last one was just running away from Noah Beck. Surrounded by the likes of Speed, Tank, the King. That's a lot of defensive work there. And you could really see something great from Chris MD. He did get absolutely fucking clobbered in the head though. In that England versus Scotland game. So he might not be full fitness. But I think you put him in there along those 3 workman midfielders and he's going to do great things. With the man that he ran away from, Noah Beck, I'd be taking him over to the side, man. I think it's a good deal. We all know sidemen like to take the best players, and Noah Beck really seems like something. So you put him in their midfield, and it's starting to look good. Keep in mind, 3-5-2. You've got two wingers that could drop in. You've got KSI, the absolute fucking engine at defensive mid. You can afford to have a player like Noah Beck, who doesn't shy away from the defensive side, but certainly his best aspect is on the ball, not off it. And I think he could really do great things. So he's going to be slotting at left center mid, and I've decided right center mid, another one of the great midfielders from All Stars last year. We've gone with Chunks. I think Chunks is a little bit less of a defensive sort of center mid, but we're kind of seeing this in modern day football. You tend to have a 6, an 8, and a 10 in the same midfield, and I think KSI is a 6, Noah Beck is an 8, and Chunks is a 10. That's a great midfield right there, and he'll be allowed to do those ping passes and everything with the front line in front of him and the wingers around him. Chunks will be really good in this team. Both sides here have 2 strikers, and these strikers are going to have some hard work. Keep in mind here, the YouTube All-Stars only have to run towards Josh and Ethan and Harry. The Sidemen strikers have to run towards Andrew Tate, the king, who's going to be chasing around Ryan's toy world. They're going to be fucked. There's no way they're getting through this defense, or at least they need some specialists up top. We've gone with Vicstar. I think Andrew Tate would shit himself if he even ran towards Vicstar. And another one, obviously, Mini Minter. I feel like that's a given. He's the best player. He got a 10 out of 10 last year on FootMob. It would be kind of interesting to see him on the other team, but they're never going to do that. It's a Sidemen game. He should be on the Sidemen team. So yeah, we've made that decision that the front line will be Vicstar and Sidemen. And that kind of rounds out their team, but we'll cover their team in a minute. The really interesting side is going to be the YouTube strikers. Even though Chunks and Nico had a great link up last year, I've decided that Nico is going to be staying with YouTube All-Stars. I think he's better off staying there, starting for them, because he's not going to bench any of the sidemen, and unless he's going to play out of his position, it's not going to work. So he's going to be starting at right striker. And at the left striker, there wasn't many great strikers in the YouTube kind of space. Like, I don't know. I'm sure if you watch an edited video, they're all amazing. But I've decided to go with the Cum Dog. Anyone who's watched the A-League will know about the Cum Dog. If you watch the World Cup, specifically the France game, you might have seen a couple minutes of him. The Cum Dog is a hero on the coast. I watched his man score a hat-trick in the A-League Grand Final. I really think he could do something in the YouTube All-Stars game. Cum Dog has some great chance that I can't say, but I'm sure if the YouTube All-Stars have him for 1 year, he'll be great for Sidemen in the next year. So that's the starting 11 for both sides. And I gotta say, I think we know that Sidemen will always have the better starting 11. They like to do that. They like to make sure they win, and then they make it a bit closer towards the end. But just to kind of recap, we're going to go back over the teams real quick. So in goals, we have Ben Foster. At right center back, we have Josh. At center back, we have Ethan. At left center back, we have Harry. At right mid, we have Manny. At left mid, we have Toby. Those guys are going to be playing up and down the field the entire time. But those two to start is a great combination. KSI at defensive mid is a strong one, though. I don't think anyone's getting past him. If they do, they're going to cop a mean elbow to the chin. He's just there to kind of provide the more defensive option in midfield. And then Chunks at right center mid is that bit more luxury midfielder. You're allowed at least one in a midfield 5. And yeah, Chunks is going to do something special. And then to round off the team, they got Vicstar and Mini Minter up top. As well as this, we have the YouTube All-Stars team, which I'll go through. Playing a more defensive 4-4-2 like we talked about. We got John in nets, an easy choice. We got Ryan's toy reviews at right back. I'm sure this one's going to split opinions. Is it even legal to put a 7-year-old on the field? I'm not sure, but I don't know. He's got a lot of subs. He's going to bring an audience to this. Just make sure that his section of the fan base is kind of kept away from the king. Andrew Tate at right center back, Mr. Beast at left center back, and Theo Baker at left back. I think that defense is fairly solid. Theo Baker, he'll keep trying to make that long pass. I don't know if it'll ever come off. But if he can work that over-the-top through ball to the likes of, Speed or Cum Dog, goals are going to be scored. As well as this, Andrew Tate, like I said, all you got to do is pay that release clause. I think some people call it bail. But if you can pay that clause, maybe cut the ankle bracelet off, he's going to be great in this game. Although I am kind of worried about how he's going to deal when players like Vicstar are running towards him, but we'll see. The midfield 4 goes Speed, Tank, Chris MD, and then the King. The right and left mid are going to be tracking back a lot, especially the King. And Speed, once again, maybe playing in that Ronaldo role of left mid. Maybe this year Chris MD will actually run towards Noah Beck, or at least not run away from him. We'll see. And then to round out the team, we got Nico Omalana and Cum Dog. Just a good front line, especially the cum dog. I would love to see him shooting that cum shot all over Wembley like he deserves. What a great player. Although, obviously, they like to have bench players on both teams, just that way when players get tired, because believe it or not, these guys are YouTubers and they're not pro athletes. They need some players. And you want to have people who can have something to talk about on the bench. You want to have players who can kind of bond on the bench and that kind of get along. So on the Sidemen bench, I've gone with Laserbeam and Danny Aarons. They seem to be pretty popular as Sidemen extras. I think they'd have something to talk about on the bench. I've also gone with Randolph and Deji. They can relive that moment.
Name a dead YouTube channel.
And I was tossing up between Cal Freezy and Gideon, but I've decided to go with Gideon because I'm also going to be putting Ice Spice on the bench. I think she could have a similar effect in midfield as Marwan Fellaini did for Manchester United. Now, cutting back over to the YouTube All-Stars bench, we've gone for some better players here just because, I don't know, I feel like they need a bit more. They need some actual quality on this bench. So we've gone for Philly and Harry Pinero, obviously good friends. I've decided to go with Willany, obviously famous last year for bringing that GoPro, and another man who should have gone pro with Niran if it wasn't for that fucking knee injury. It's a sad, sad state, but if Niran comes on, he could be great. I think he was like 7th choice right back for Dagenham and Redbridge. This is a serious football player. And then I was tossing up with the striker options because, like I talked about, there aren't a whole lot, available in the YouTube space. They're actually good. So I've decided to take a kind of left field approach. If anyone was, for anyone around my age, you would have grown up watching the movie called She's the Man. Amanda Bynes played a lady soccer player who, after they cut the women's team, she did what any, rational person would do, faked being transgender, and then went to the rival school team to play for them. Great movie. But yeah, I've decided that Amanda Bynes should be going on the bench. I think she might be a crack addict now or something, but, if you can get her clean for 90 minutes. We know she's the man, but is she the striker that YouTube All-Stars needs? I don't know. We'll see in this game. I'm expecting big things, though. I don't know. There was an open spot. It was between, like, Cal Freezy or, like, Calux, and I was like, look, we'll just get the Queen's Corpse. It's the same thing as Tank, I don't think it's that hard to sort of, like, get them out there. In fact, they're not going to be doing anything else. If you could, like, I don't know, if you could revive them or something, I don't know, if you can't get them back, maybe go get the Martinez twins from Team 10, slot them in the gaps. They'll be like Raphael and the other one from Manchester United. But, I don't know, so those are my teams. I think it would be interesting to see how they play. I really do think, this year could be the year for YouTube All-Stars. As long as the wingers drop in like we've talked about, I don't know, this could be special. But yeah, I think as long as Speed can kind of stick out wide and doesn't see KSI and goes for it. Although even then, when Tank gets tired or something, or maybe he gets euthanized, you could put Speed into the center and then maybe Amanda Bynes would do a job out there. Like, I think this team could really be something. I don't know, even though on paper it's not the best team, if you're relying on 2 dead people, or at least 2 dead things for your, bench and your starting 11, it's not ideal, but don't count them out. I really wouldn't count out this team. So yeah, that's how I would pick the teams. Let me know if I missed anyone. I was thinking some other players. Yeah, there were some other names I was kind of dicing up. I don't know. Mbappe isn't going to be playing for PSG. He may as well play for the Sidemen. Yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Another one, though, I do want to say, if the YouTube All-Stars, if you need someone, I'm here. The account has, like, doubled in subscribers in the last, like, fortnight, so I don't know. I'm only pretending to make the decisions, but Mr. KSI, if you wanna get your boy, I won't slide tackle your all game, I promise. I got another video coming out soon. We're gonna be talking about the Jake Paul documentary. Which I want to look into it a bit, make sure I got all the facts right, figure out everything I can about it. But that video is gonna be coming out the next week. All right, see ya.
Yeah.